When you check into a hotel, you expect your room to be private, locked, safe, a space that belongs to you, if only for the night. But on a rainy Thursday in late October, a simple booking error opened a door that was never meant to be opened, and what was found inside would tear apart a carefully constructed lie that had been hiding in plain sight for years.
The Lakeview Continental Hotel stood at the edge of a mist-covered lake, its neon sign humming faintly in the drizzle. It wasn't the kind of place that made headlines. Family-friendly, mid-range prices, forgettable beige carpets in the hallways. But the night of October 23rd, the front desk received a call from the reservation system. Two separate guests, two unrelated bookings, had both been assigned room 718. Desk clerk, Emma Morales, a 27-year-old who'd been working here for just 6 months, thought it was a system glitch. She sent the first guest, a middle-aged businessman named Daniel Carter, up with a keycard. Minutes later, the second guest, a woman named Megan Hart, checked in, and was also assigned room 718. Emma frowned at her screen, then picked up the phone to call housekeeping. Before she could, Megan asked, "Can we just go up together? If someone's in there, I'll take a different room." The elevator hummed softly as the three of them, Megan, Daniel, and Emma, rode to the 7th floor. The hallway was long and quiet, the patterned carpet muffling their steps. Emma tapped her master keycard to the lock. The little green light blinked. When the door swung open, Daniel and Megan froze. On the bed sat a packed suitcase neatly zipped, a luggage tag dangling. In the bathroom, the sink was wet, white foam from a toothbrush still clinging to the porcelain. But there was no one inside. Emma hesitated. Housekeeping must have just been in here. But Daniel shook his head. Housekeeping doesn't leave this. He pointed to the corner. A wallet lay on the dresser. A phone charger plugged into the wall. Whoever was staying here had left in a hurry. Emma stepped inside first, her polished flats squeaking against the damp carpet just inside the doorway. She glanced at the bed, perfectly made except for a subtle crease where someone had sat recently. Daniel lingered in the hallway, as if stepping over the threshold might make him part of something he didn't want to be involved in. Megan's eyes darted between the suitcase and the bathroom. Emma moved toward the dresser, touching the wallet with a latex-gloved hand from her housekeeping kit. The leather was warm, as if it had been in someone's pocket minutes ago. The bathroom mirror still glistened with tiny droplets, like steam had cleared just before they arrived. Emma turned toward Daniel. "Sir, are you sure you just checked in?" Daniel frowned. 15 minutes ago. I didn't even make it to the room before you stopped me downstairs." Megan stepped into the bathroom doorway, staring at a damp towel hanging neatly over the rack. "This doesn't feel like housekeeping. This feels like someone was just here." Emma tapped her radio. "Security, this is front desk. I need someone to room 718. Now." The hallway filled with the sound of heavy boots. Security Officer Paul Decker, late 40s, former military, stepped inside with a stoic expression. He scanned the room quickly, noting every detail. "Nobody leaves a wallet, a charger, and a wet sink unless they're coming right back," he muttered. Paul checked the closet. Empty. He dropped to one knee and pulled back the bed skirt. Nothing. Visual prompt. Low-angle shot from under a hotel bed, flashlight beam sweeping across empty space, security officer's hand visible holding light, 16:9, cinematic realism. "We need to check the cameras," Paul said, standing. "And nobody touches anything else until we do." Daniel crossed his arms. "I just wanted to check in. I didn't sign up for." A loud thud echoed from the hallway. Everyone froze. Paul was first to the door, stepping into the corridor. At the far end of the hall, a room service cart stood abandoned. One of the covered trays had been knocked to the floor, stainless steel lid rolling in lazy circles before settling. No one was in sight. Paul radioed another guard to sweep the floor while he and Emma returned to 718. But when they stepped back inside, Megan was staring at the dresser. The wallet was gone. "It was right there," Megan whispered. "I swear it was right there." "Emma, what's going on?" "I don't know. But we're not leaving until we find out." She pulled out her phone and snapped a quick picture of the suitcase and the toothbrush in the sink. Minutes later, the hum of the hotel lobby filled the air again. Muffled voices, hurried footsteps, the click of security radios. Emma and Daniel descended the staircase, only to find a small crowd gathered near the revolving door. At its center, two security guards holding back a man in a charcoal suit, mid-40s, hair slicked back. His hands were open, palms up as if to say, "I'm not resisting." Emma watched as the man's gaze swept the lobby and landed on her. His lips curled into something between a smirk and a warning. "Whitlow, you shouldn't have gone in there." Emma's chest tightened. Daniel instinctively stepped in front of her, but Whitlow didn't move. He just let the guards lead him away, his eyes never leaving hers. That was the moment she knew they'd just walked into something far bigger than a booking error. The knock was soft but sharp, the kind people use when they don't want to wake the whole floor but need you to answer. Emma opened the door to a man in a dark suit, badge clipped to his belt. Behind him, another plainclothes officer leaned against the wall. "Ms. Lane? Detective Hart. We need to ask you some questions about last night." They sat at the little round table in the corner. Hart didn't touch the coffee Emma offered. "Tell me about the suitcase. Did you open it?" "Just enough to see the name tag. H. Whitlow." Hart wrote something down, then looked up, his eyes probing. "You know he's been under investigation before, right?" Emma shook her head. Hart laid it out in pieces, as if testing how much she could handle at once. 7 years earlier, Whitlow's former business partner had vanished after a late-night meeting. The last known location? A boutique hotel, just like this one. The same toothbrush in the sink detail had been in the police file. Downstairs, Daniel was already speaking to another officer. Emma could see him through the glass wall, his hands moving as he talked. Hart followed her gaze. "Your friend, he's in town for business?" "Yeah. He's a corporate consultant." "You two ever stayed at this hotel before?" Emma frowned. "No. Why?" Hart didn't answer. He just stood, thanked her for her time, and left. By midday, news vans clogged the curb outside the Grand Vale. A headline scrolled across a TV in the lobby. "Financial advisor arrested in connection to cold case disappearance." But what caught Emma's attention wasn't the headline. It was the grainy B-roll footage of police removing the suitcase from room 718. The anchor's voice cut through. Police confirmed that inside the suitcase were personal items belonging to the missing man, Martin Kessler. Martin Kessler, the partner Whitlow had supposedly met with 7 years ago, the one who never came home. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She went for a walk down the quiet hallway, past room 718. Something made her stop. The door, now sealed with yellow evidence tape, had a faint scuff mark low on the frame, like something heavy had been dragged through it. 2 days later, Hart called her in to view a photo lineup. She thought she'd be pointing out Whitlow. Instead, her stomach dropped. The man she recognized was not Whitlow. It was Daniel, caught on security footage entering the east stairwell with that suitcase, hours before she and he had checked in. The footage didn't lie. But people do. Emma was torn. The Daniel she knew wouldn't hurt anyone. But there he was in crisp black and white, hand on the suitcase handle. Daniel denied it. Said he'd been helping a guest who'd asked him to move it. But that guest? Never identified. 3 tense weeks followed. Hart pieced together credit card records, guest logs, and old witness statements. The breakthrough came when a former maid from Whitlow's old boutique hotel recognized a detail. Whitlow had a habit of tipping in rare $2 bills. One of those bills had turned up in Daniel's wallet. And with that, the game changed. Whitlow, it turned out, had been using Daniel as an unwitting courier, placing stolen or incriminating items into his possession so that, if the police got close, Whitlow could disappear clean and leave Daniel holding the evidence. The scuff mark at room 718? From a dolly Whitlow had used to move a hidden compartment inside the suitcase. A compartment that had been concealing Kessler's watch and cufflinks all these years. By the time Hart closed the case, Whitlow was facing charges for murder, fraud, and evidence tampering. Daniel was cleared, though not without damage to his reputation. Emma, she just wanted to leave hotels behind for a while. The truth is, sometimes the door you're not supposed to open is the one that changes everything. And sometimes the booking error is no error at all. Lessons learned. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong in a place that should feel safe, it's worth paying attention. Details matter. A name on a tag, a scuff on a doorframe, they can crack open a case. Criminals plan for mistakes, and sometimes they plan yours. If you were Emma, would you have stepped inside room 718? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more stories where ordinary moments twist into something unforgettable, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. You never know when the next door might open.